Hey, this is Chris with Destination Arts, and today I'm doing some landscape practice. And the interesting thing about this landscape painting is that I tried to not overwork it. I tried to use kind of a basic 3-value system. I watch a whole lot of YouTube videos because my job is a little bit, it's a little bit boring, so I have some time. I'm there for safety reasons, and sometimes I'm not needed. So anyway, so watch a lot of YouTube videos. And one of the things that I was watching, I think it was Alfonso Dunn, I think. Anyway, and he was discussing the value systems that you have to have in your artwork so that you can create depth, right? So you have to have a foreground, middle ground, background, and of course values help you create those, as well as overlapping shapes and things like that. So my attempt in this painting, I just had a cat jump up here. My attempt in this painting is to paint light at first, work my way forward, and not overpaint it because I have a tendency to have to put paint everywhere. And you'll see the comparison between the before and after when I tried fixing it. And it looks like my style. I've overpainted it. There's paint everywhere. Anyway, okay, so I laid in some sky, tried to just do a vague indication of some mountains, and then put in some water. And then I decided just to, add some browns around the edge to make it look like maybe I'm at a lake or something like that with, once again, I should probably, there's times as an artist, I'm like, I should just quit because I suck. Anyway, so I hope if that's you, I want to encourage you to keep going, which means I think I have, as I was saying, I think that means that I have to encourage myself to keep on going, which, it's very hard to self-motivate. So I'm here to motivate you. Anyway, so if you'll notice on the painting, I had sort of tacked down the edges with some washi tape, and this is 300-pound 300-pound paper, and the washi tape is not strong enough to hold it. So I fight with that a little bit. So ultimately with this painting, I am trying to establish background, very light values, middle ground with some deeper values, and then some foregrounds with some darkest values. And so you can see that the painting has dried, and of course watercolor dries lighter than when you first put it down. So I was going back in to make some adjustments. And so because also one of the things, let's see, but at this point, I just decided to get another piece of painter's tape, and I'm not using it to, usually you tape it down so it won't warp, but since it's 300-pound paper, I don't have to worry about that, but I would like to keep it, steady. So I am attempting to further, no. I had only did the foreground, I'm sorry. I'll get my act together here. I did the background and the middle ground, and now I'm attempting, after it's dry, to put in the foreground. Yes, and so I wanted just some basic shrubbery and stuff up front, and then I put in a little path to kind of head out to the lake, because one of the things when creating depth, you also sort of want a path through the painting. And then I was brilliant, and I started to add ink, and I hit time lapse on my phone, and it actually didn't hit start. And that's why there's no footage of the in-between stage there. So I had shown you the picture of the painting when I had added the ink afterward, and I thought, oh, well, it's done. But then I looked at it again, and instead of overpainting everything, having the same dark value, I had not overpainted it, but I maybe underpainted it, and everything was a light value. So I still hadn't achieved my goal of creating depth. So I decided to go back in and try to fix it. So this is my attempt at fixing it. And what I did was add more shading to the mountains in the background, and then I actually did, between the mountain and the lake, my dog is eating her food right next to me. I added that strip of trees kind of in the background. And now I'm trying to darken the foreground a little bit, and also add some shadow and some light. So normally I took a painting class in France. You hear my dog eating? And Francois Beaumont was my teacher, and he said, you paint the sun. You have to paint the sun. So I was attempting to do that, and I don't know that I mastered it exactly, but I was just adding a little bit more color to the lake there, just to bring it a little more attention. And then I thought I had done it too much, so that's why I used a paper towel. And decided the mid-ground trees, nope, I'm still working on the lake. Anyway, the mid-ground trees, I decided needed to be a little bit deeper in color and also shadow. And so you paint sun, of course, by adding shadows, especially with watercolor. If you're doing acrylic, you can just, put white paint on there and boom. So there I did try to do a little shadow on the path. And in a minute, I tried to shade the trees that are in the midground and also put a ground shadow. There I am trying to add some shadow to the foreground. There we go. Finally. But I wanted it to be subtle, so I sort of, I made sure that I smoothed that edge and tried to create sort of a shadow going down the hill. And then in a second, I add pops of yellow everywhere, and those I was hoping would represent where sunlight would be. So they're sort of next to a shadowed area, and I was hoping that the yellow color that you would see would sort of be your eye flow indicator, so that your eye would bounce from one yellow pop to another yellow pop. I'm not sure how successful I was. So I've been painting, let's see, I really got serious about watercolor painting in 2005, but then there's been years, so that's what, 14 years? So there's been times though when I haven't picked up a brush or done any watercolor for probably a couple of years. And now I've been practicing, I don't know, I guess for 8 months, maybe less, maybe 6 months. Anyway, and I'm still struggling. Anyway, so here is the first painting before I added the darkness, and then here after I finished it. You decide if I actually helped it or not. I'm not really sure. I think it looks a lot like like I normally paint. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a fabulous day. If you'd like to try painting something, I say just go for it. Watercolor is easy to do, and there's always the other side of the page if you screw up. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.